Good morning, y'all. This is Sheila E. from Tennessee, and we're cooking in Mam's Kitchen. I have a very old recipe. Mine is a little bit tweaked from my mother-in-law's. It was hers, and she passed away in 1997. So we continue to make her recipes, but I tweak it for the way I like it. And it's called a fresh apple nut cake. So I wanted you to see. I've got a whole bag of Red Delicious. You can use Red Delicious. You can use Honey Crisp, whatever apple you want. Make sure it's a good sweet apple. Also, I've got my trusty chopper here somewhere. I thought I had everything ready, but you know how that goes. Let's see where I can find it at. Right here it is, right in front of my face. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out chopping these in a rough chop, and I'm going to do that in this chopper right here, with my old antique chopper. And I'm just going to give those. I've got almost a whole bag. I like about 1, 2, 3, 4 apples having a whole bag. And sometimes if I have Honey Crisp, and let me turn this around here where you can see it. If I have Honey Crisp and I have Red Delicious or Apple Yellow Delicious, I'll just go ahead and use what I got. You know, you got to make do with what you got, and I've used different kinds, and they're all good. The cake's still all good. Now, guys, I was tempted not to give you this recipe. I sell a lot of these cakes, and you know what? I just go ahead and share it with my Facebook friends. Like I said, I work part-time, so if y'all can make this, it'd be great. It is a very expensive cake, and it's time-consuming. I have my oven already preheating at 325. I want to get these chopped up to where you can see, and hopefully I have 3 cups. It takes a lot of apples to make 3 cups. And you want a rough chop. You don't want a mush. You don't want applesauce. So this is looking pretty good, guys. I want to show you that. So we're going to take another bowl. I got me a new recipe book holder, so I'm just so tickled with that. So we're going to take this big old bowl right here and set it right here. And then I'm going to start measuring my apples. And what I do is I just scoop down in there, and I get 1 packed heaping. You can see that, that's 1 cup. And then 2 cups heaping. That's your 2nd cup. And let's see. I think we're going to just about have it. So that's 3 cups heaping. So I have just a little bit left. I'm going to put that in there. That's about a 1/2 cup, and that's not going to hurt it. That's just going to make it more delicious. Let me wash my hands. Be sure to write this down, folks. My mother-in-law's has some cinnamon and stuff in it, and I just tweaked it for myself because, you know, like you tweak something, that means that you do it the way you want to do it. Okay, this recipe calls for 2 cups of sugar, and we're going to go ahead and put our sugar in there. So since I've got my cup out here, and I always have try to have most of my ingredients out. I hope you can see that pretty good. This is a delicious cake, folks, and I do a heaping cut, and the older it gets, the better it gets. I'm going to wait either till tonight and put the brown sugar butter. It's brown sugar and butter and heavy cream or canned cream, whichever one you have. Scrape all that sugar out of there. I love this cake. I will tell you, my mother-in-law's here in just a minute. She adds cinnamon and spices to her, and I don't care for it in this cake. So we've got 2 cups of sugar. We've got 3 cups of apples chopped, and we need 1 1/4 cups of Wesson oil. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm using vegetable oil. I didn't have the Wesson. but I always put where that calls for 1 1/4 cups. I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to do a half instead of a 1/4. So that looks about like a half. You can see that right there. All right, got that oil. This is most of our wet ingredients. And then I'm going to do 3 eggs. You know me, I'm going to do egg beaters if I've got them. Alrighty. So, yes, I do have some egg beaters. These are not the name brand, they're Food Club, and they're just as good. And I shake those up really good. It says that 3 eggs equals to 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to put 3 eggs. I always try to put a little bit more because they are egg beaters. You want your cake really good. So just 3/4 of a cup. That's going to be right there. And that's just a little over 3 cups of egg beaters. Okay, and now this recipe calls, we've got the oil, the sugar, the eggs. We've got the apples. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm going to use my measuring just for you guys. Hope y'all enjoy this. I'm not getting too many hits on YouTube. If y'all want to go to YouTube, look on Cooking with Sheila at Mam's Kitchen, or Cooking with Sheila E. from Tennessee. You know, I'm from Tennessee and I'm proud of it. So that was 2 tablespoons of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of salt. We'll do a teaspoon of salt. I guess the salt makes it, brings out the sweetness in it too. This is, okay. Alright, there we go on that. Make sure we get that in there. Brings out the sweetness is what I've always heard. Okay, now we've got the oil, the sugar, the eggs, the salt, and the vanilla, and the apples. And I'm going to do, let's see, baking soda. So we're going to do, it says to do 1 teaspoon. And this is 1 teaspoon, and I just go down in my box, do a level teaspoon there. So we'll put that back over here. We've got the baking soda, we've got oil. That says 1/4 cup. I'm going to put just a little bit more oil, because on that one, I'm going to put maybe a half or a 1/4 more oil. Because this cake is, it can be very dry with all the apples. So that's going to be about 1 3/4 cups of oil. All right, we've got the oil, the sugar, the eggs, the baking soda, the salt. We have the vanilla. We have the chopped apples. Now I'm going to tell you, you can use black walnuts or you can use pecans. And I'm going to use my leftover pecans that I have. And we need, after they're chopped, we need 1 cup of chopped pecans or black walnuts, whichever you prefer. I've made them with both and they're both delicious. So let me put it, see what else I've got here I can add to that, because I've got a few more in the freezer. But I want to use these bags that's being opened up. And I'm going to show you that this is container is full. You can see that right there, that nut bowl. See that little chopper? See that right there? Let me try to hold you up here where you can see. Let's see. Can you see that? See that chopper? And see, that's plumb full right there. There you go. So I'm going to put my phone back here. If I can get it back in this little tripod here. There you are. So just hold on a minute. I'm going to go ahead and give those a chop. Just a rough chop too. We don't want this mush. Put this sugar over here out of the way to where you can see. Okay, now just hold on a second, guys. I'm going to measure. And you'll see it takes a lot to make a cup Actually, once you get them chopped. Looks like it's pretty good chopped to me. So we're going to take that out of the way. Take that off. We're going to take that blade out of there. And set that right there. And where's my measuring cup? So right here we're going to measure. And you saw how full that was. So right there is 1 cup. So, and I have some left, so I'm just going to go ahead. That's going to be, it looks to me like a heaping cup of chopped pecans or chopped walnuts, black walnuts, not the English walnuts, the black walnuts. I'm not sure how it would be with the English walnuts. I've never used the English walnuts. Okay, I want to get a little bit of this out of my way. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to stir this up. Make one. We got the Wesson oil, we've got the sugar, we got the eggs, we got the soda, we have salt, we have vanilla, we have chopped apples, and we have our chopped nuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this up, and then I'm going to put my flour in live. And this is a cake, guys, that you don't use a mixer on. You don't use a mixer on this at all. I thought I had my pan out here. Let me see if I've got my pan right here. I'm sorry about the noise, all right? This is my trusted bundt pan, and this is what I make my fresh apple nut cakes in. I always take your paper towel and make sure it's good and clean in the, you know, sometimes you put these in the dishwasher and you'll see a little bit, but I always go back over them with a paper towel. You can see how that's been used, and that's one of the heavy ones. And you can't find them hardly like that anymore with the heavy ones. Now what I'm looking for now is my trusted Baker's Joy. You know, I love that Baker's Joy. I have used some different ones, but I love that the best. So there's my Baker's Joy. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this ready while I'm stirring all this up. So you want to spray around the dome with that really, really good. Just take your time with that and then spray in each crack. You want to get in each crack. I'm trying to get it to where you can see it. You don't want to spread all over your stove, guys. You just do the best you can. This flour, it has flour and shortening both. I used to when I made them years ago, when my mother-in-law was still alive. We used shortening, like Crisco shortening, and then we go over it with flour. I want to try to get the edges of this too, just because if this cake goes all the way to the top of this pan. All right, we've got that. You can see how good that is. You want to do it really, really good, because you don't want to put this kind of money in a cake and then it sticks. So shout out to Miss Brenda again. I'm going to try her recipe for that jam cake, but I've looked at a few more recipes since she's made that, and none of them looks like they're too easy made. So the last thing we're going to put in here, folks, is 3 cups of flour, and I do use self-rising white lily flour. So I'm going to get my cup back again, and they say, I've always heard these good cooks, I always just got a big heaping one. Take your cup and put it, and don't stack, don't pack it, but just get a level cup of flour. So that's 1. And 2. A lot of people say that you the original recipe calls for plain flour and baking soda and salt, which we put the salt in there and the baking soda in anyway. Even with it self-rising, it don't hurt it. I think it helps it. So here's 3, and this, I want to say these are heaping. You don't pack these down, you just put it in there loosely. And let me get that out of the way. My flour container. I've got a couple more orders for today. I've got another coconut cream pie and a an old-fashioned chess pie. So I want to get those done, and then I'm going to make a candy tray of, get you where you can see, of coconut balls, chocolate covered coconut balls, or I call them chocolate covered coconut truffles. And it just sounds more elegant and decadent to me, but they're the same thing. And then I'm going to make the chocolate covered peanut butter balls. So as I said, this is a cake that you don't want to use a mixer on. You want to keep stirring. It's not folding, it's stirring. Well, I guess you might call it folding. And then on my, it says to preheat your oven. It says to stir this by hand. Bake in a greased and floured bundt pan or cube pan. Bake for 50 minutes to 1 hour at 350 degrees. And I always set mine for 1 hour, but I watch it too, because 325 degrees is not too hot. But you have to be there to watch it just to make sure it's not going to get too hot. If it gets too hot on your oven, turn it down to 300, and then bake it for another extra 10 or 15 minutes. When you stick a knife or a toothpick down in it and it comes out clean, you can tell when you make enough of these, you can tell when they're done. So you see that all goody in there? You see that? So now we've got our pan ready, and it looks like it's stirred up pretty good to me. Let me tell you, it makes my mouth water just to watch this. I mean, I'm telling you, I love these. This is not for me, but because I'm on my diet, and we're going to try to stick to it. But I'll let you watch me put this in here. So this takes almost a whole bag of apples. And you know how high they are. And it takes, I guess, I want to say it probably takes 3 cups of just broke up pecans to make 1 whole cup, or a little cup and a half of chopped pecans. Or if you want to use black walnuts, they're even more expensive than the pecans. So we want to get all of that out of there. As you can see, I'm scraping that bowl down because we want every last bite. Like I said, I'm doing this for one of my friends too, and I hope she likes it. I'm not going to put this video on until she gets her cake, because I want to surprise her. Alright guys, that looks like that's about all I can get out of that. So I'm going to set that over here in the sink. Just sort of stir it around. I'm going to show you a little bit of trick. I didn't make too big a mess, but it's just from years and years of doing it. So I'm going to set them paper towels right there. And I'm going to give this, because I don't want to mess up my countertop. And I guess I better put something else there. That didn't sound like it was too sturdy. So we'll set this towel, and you just go ahead and give that 2 or 3 bangs on your countertop. Put you a towel on it that loosens or removes any bubbles that's in there. So it is ready. Don't you see that? To go. See, it almost comes all to the top, and when it bakes, it will come to the top. I am going to put a pan, a cookie sheet. I'm going to put a big old cookie sheet in my oven on the oven rack, because I don't like cleaning that mess up if that happens to boil over. So there again, we've got that. I want you to see that really good there. See that, how good that looks? So this is going to bake for about an hour. Hopefully it will, you just check it, 325. And okay folks, and I will let you know, I will turn the video back on and show you what the finished product is, and then we let that cool really good before we ever put that topping on it. I call it a topping. It's a caramel, but it's a butter, brown sugar, and cream, heavy cream or canned cream. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. And you want to put that in the center of your oven on the bottom rack. And I'm going to go ahead and time this. So you can see right here. I'm going to time it for 1 hour at 325. And so I'll get back on here. It'll be part 2 of fresh apple nut cake, and see what the finished product is, okay? So again, thank you for watching my videos. Share them if you like them. Go on YouTube. I've been trying to put a few on YouTube. People who don't have Facebook, they have YouTube. And I'm getting, I think we've had about, total on all of my recipes that I've put on there, we've had over almost 4,000 in since January 1st. So that's not too bad. And I just like to share all this with the young women and the older women, letting you know that it's, I've just got flour all over me, but I'm just letting you know, I get it all over me. I forgot to put my apron on, guys. Let me tell you, when you got so much to do on your days off, sometimes you just rush and you just forget, don't you? But that's okay too. So I can always change shirts. But tune back in with me on part 2 of the fresh apple nut cake. Again, be thankful for what we have. Always smile, because smiling is contagious. And share what you have with others. So that's going to be all until I tune back in with you. And I just want you to know, folks, this is going to be delicious, you all. Thank you so much.